Hi everyone, and welcome to this lecture on what is an AI agent. In this session, you will learn what an AI agent is and gain a basic understanding of where we are in evolution of AI. Thank you for joining, and let's get started. This video is a part of the Udemy course Manual and Automation Software Testing with help of Generative AI. For more information, check the description below the video or visit our website testing101.net. With the rapid growth of AI, we constantly hear the same message everywhere. AI will replace all professions. Social media is full of predictions about job disappearing, news headlines talk about full automation of the workforce, and more people are starting to question what their future role will be in this new reality. But is this really the full picture? In particular, many people believe that AI agents will become the main workers in the future, while humans will mainly shift into supervision and control roles. In this view, software development, testing, design, and management could be largely automated, with AI handling most of the execution. So the real question is, how much of this is actually true? And more importantly, what exactly is an AI agent? Is it just a more advanced chatbot or something fundamentally different that can actually execute tasks? And why do so many people believe it could change the way we work so drastically? Let's try to find our answers to these questions. As we discussed in previous videos, until recently, the most common form of AI was a chatbot. Think of it as an AI assistant that works on a very simple principle: question, answer. You ask a question, it analyzes your request, and then generates a response. Whether you ask it to explain a concept, write a piece of code, or suggest test cases, its job is simply to provide information and recommendations. However, there is an important limitation. A traditional chatbot has no direct access to the outside world. It cannot interact with your computer, click buttons, open applications, or perform actions on your behalf. It simply sits inside a browser tab or application window and generates text based on your prompt. For example, if the chatbot generates a piece of code for you, the process doesn't end there. You still need to copy the code, paste it into your IDE, run it, review the output, and fix any issues that might appear. The AI provides the instructions, but you perform every step of the execution process. The same applies to software testing. A chatbot only provides guidance by suggesting test cases, plans, or strategies. However, the actual actions, creating, executing, analyzing, and making decisions are still performed by a human. This is the key difference between an AI that advises and a human who executes. However, AI is evolving very quickly, and this is where things start to change. We are now entering the era of AI agents. Unlike a traditional chatbot that follows a question-to-answer model, an AI agent works using a completely different approach: goal to result. Instead of asking a question, you give it an objective. The agent then analyzes the situation, creates a plan, determines which tools it needs, and begins taking actions to achieve the desired outcome. An AI agent is not just about generating text. It can understand the context of what it is doing and why, use external tools such as APIs, browsers, or file systems, make multi-step decisions like analyzing code, debugging errors, writing tests, and executing them, and remember previous actions to improve future results. At this point, it might sound like LLM chatbots and AI agents are some kind of magical robots that know everything, can do anything, and will eventually replace humans. In reality, things are much more grounded and practical. AI is transforming the way we work, but it is still a tool. The more realistic scenario is not replacement, but augmentation. People who know how to use AI effectively will outperform those who do not. So let's make sure we are in the right category, the people who know how to use AI effectively. To do that, we need first to understand how AI agents actually work under the hood and what enables them to go beyond a traditional chatbot. Let's break it down step by step. First of all, it's important to understand that most AI agents follow a similar structure. It doesn't matter whether you're using Cursor, GitHub Copilot, OpenAI Operator, Claude Code, or another AI agent. While the implementations may differ, the core architecture is very similar. To simplify things, we can break an AI agent down into three main components. The first component is the brain, which is the large language model or LLM. This is the part responsible for understanding information, reasoning about problems, generating ideas, making decisions, and determining what should happen next. In simple terms, this is where the agent's intelligence comes from. Today, there are many different LLMs available on the market, including models from OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Meta, and others. Each model has its own strengths, weaknesses, pricing, and areas of specialization, but from an architectural perspective, they all serve the same purpose, acting as the agent's brain. It's also worth noting how quickly this field is growing. Today, there are more than 200 foundational LLMs and thousands of specialized AI models available. Some are optimized for coding, others for reasoning, research, mathematics, customer support, or content generation. As the technology continues to evolve, new models are being released almost every month, giving AI agents access to increasingly powerful capabilities. The second major component of AI agent is instructions, sometimes referred to as the context, rules, or system prompt. These instructions define who the agent is, what role it should perform, and what process it should follow. For example, the instructions might say, you are a QA agent. Your job is to find bugs. If you discover a bug, create a detailed bug report and suggest possible root causes. Without these instructions, the AI has intelligence, but it lacks direction. The instructions give the agent a purpose and guide its decision-making process. It's also important to understand that instructions can exist on different levels. Sometimes they are defined directly in the main prompt, sometimes inside system rules, and sometimes even embedded within tools or skills that the agent uses. At the first level, instructions live in the main prompt. This is what it provided at runtime when you ask the agent to perform a task. It defines the immediate goal for a specific request. For example, review this test case and identify potential issues. These instructions are temporary and only relevant for the current interaction, meaning they only affect a single task execution. At the second level, instructions are defined in system rules. These are higher-level guidelines that stay consistent across all interactions. They define the agent's role, behavior, and boundaries, such as, you are a QA assistant focused on finding critical bugs and writing clear reports. These rules are not usually visible or editable by the user during normal usage, but they strongly influence every response the agent produces. At the third level, instructions can be embedded inside the tools or skills an agent uses. Each tool has its own built-in logic that defines how it should behave when executed. For example, a file tool might first check if a file exists, then safely read its content, and only then allow changes. These instructions are directly tied to execution and shape how the agent interacts with real systems. This structure cannot be fully understood in 1 second, so don't worry. We will have practical lectures where you will learn how to build each component and how to build a complete AI agent for software testing throughout this course. So, as we can see, instructions are not just a single layer. They exist across different levels and help shape how the agent thinks, behaves, and even how it uses its tools. But instructions alone are not enough to make an agent truly useful. To actually perform actions in the real world, we need the next core component, skills and tools. This is where things become practical. While instructions define the behavior and decision-making process, skills and tools define the agent's ability to act, interact with systems, and produce real outcomes beyond text generation. This is the point where the agent moves from thinking to doing, where abstract instructions and reasoning are translated into real actions. At this stage, the agent starts interacting with tools and skills to execute tasks in real systems and produce tangible results. More specifically, skills represent higher-level capabilities of an agent. A skill is not a single action, but a structured workflow that combines reasoning steps and multiple tools usages into one coherent ability. In other words, skills define reusable patterns of work that the agent can execute end-to-end. This means that once a skill is created, it can be applied repeatedly to similar tasks, allowing the agent to handle complex workflows in a consistent and structured way without redefining every step from scratch. As you can see, within skills, the AI actually uses tools. This shows that skills are not independent logic. They are built on top of tools which provide the execution layer for completing complex workflows. Tools are the interfaces that allow an AI agent to interact with external systems such as APIs, file systems, databases, browsers, and terminals. Each tool provides a specific capability that the agent can call when needed. From an architectural perspective, tools define the agent's operational scope. They determine what systems and environments the agent is allowed to access and work with during execution. To make AI agents connect to tools faster and in a more consistent way, a standard called MCP, Model Context Protocol, was introduced. Instead of creating custom integrations for every single tool, MCP provides a unified protocol that allows agents to quickly and reliably access different systems in a structured format. Thanks to this approach, AI agents now have access to a rapidly growing ecosystem of tools and integrations, and this number continues to increase as more systems become compatible with modern agent frameworks. So now we can see the bigger picture. Instead of a magical robot, an AI agent is a structured system built from instructions, tools, and skills. Each component plays a specific role and can be understood and developed step by step for different tasks, both in software development and software testing. Since this course is focused on software testing, the key question is how all of this translates into real-world testing user cases and what it looks like in practice beyond theory. The good news is that there is no magic here either. It's just a practical application of the same building blocks we've already discussed. Depending on your goals and use cases, the very same AI agent can be assembled and used in two completely different environments. Let's take a look at what those environments are. The first common environment is AI service interfaces and web platforms, where we create web-based agents, AI agents that are built and run directly in the browser. These types of agents are especially useful for manual QA engineers and QA leads. For example, they can analyze requirements, generate test cases from specifications or screenshots, write bug reports, create test plans, and automate test management activities such as creating Jira tickets or updating test trail test cases. Examples of platforms that support this approach include OpenAI custom GPTs, Anthropic projects, Google Gemini Gems, Microsoft Copilot Studio, Zapier AI, Make Workflow, and others. The second common environment is the development workspace itself, often referred to as IDE-based agents. These agents are especially useful for QA automation engineers and software developers because they can work directly with source code, test frameworks, and project files. For example, they can write end-to-end tests, execute terminal commands, analyze test results, investigate failures, review code changes, assist with debugging complex issues, and perform many more tasks. Modern tools such as Cursor, Claude Code, GitHub Copilot, and AI-powered extensions running inside Visual Studio Code or IntelliJ IDEA bring AI agents directly into your development environment, allowing them to work alongside you within your project's code base and testing workflow. In fact, the entire software development and testing industry is rapidly moving toward an agent-based architecture. More and more tools are evolving from simple assistants that provide answers to agents that can perform actions and complete tasks on behalf of users. At first, this can feel overwhelming because AI seems to be everywhere and every product appears to work differently. We have Cursor, Claude Code, Codex, GitHub Copilot, autonomous agents, and many other solutions entering the market at an incredible pace. However, regardless of where you configure an agent, Whether in a web interface or directly inside your IDE using configuration files or prompts, they are all built on the same core idea and follow the same fundamental architectural principles we have discussed in this lecture. You provide a brain, the LLM, define the rules on behavior through instructions, and give the agent access to tools. For you, it feels like a conversation. For the computer, it's the work of the digital employee capable of reasoning, planning, and executing tasks. This may sound both simple and complex at the same time, but don't worry. In this course, you will learn how to use each of these components separately and how to build an AI agent for software testing from scratch. We will also explore existing AI agents, including Playwright-based agents, so you can apply them in real projects and make your testing process significantly more efficient and practical. That's it for this lecture. Stay with us, because there are many more interesting and practical lessons ahead. If something wasn't fully clear or you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or ask. We are here to help you. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.